Good evening and welcome to it. This is Chess and Wine. My name is ADB Line. I'm here with the updates on the MIYCC event that is meant to be happening. That is the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championships. Why do they call it MIYCC, man? Come on. It'll be easier if they call it MICC, right? Like MIYCC, Mzansi Youth Chess Championships. Why does it have to be interprovincial? Provincial? Because if it's Mzansi thing, it's a South African thing, right? Then it's Mzansi's Youth Chess Championships. MIYCC, very beautiful name. But again, the SHACC kind of ruined things for everybody. That's why now, because of the SHACC, which happened to be, in fact, an inter-regional event that was obviously played by regions instead of provinces, they had to stipulate that this is inter-provincials, and that is why they keep emphasizing in their communications in the circulars that we will only communicate with provincial representatives. Because it has to be clear that now the power is going back to the provinces, and they're trying by all means to give power to the provinces, the provincial structures, the provincial leaders, and maybe let's see, maybe they can be effective. Because I mean, in the past, provinces have just been dormant. They've just been there as, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's just only been a few provinces that we've been seeing as proper provinces, like the and I think the strong provinces still in chess, like your what do you call this? Your Western Cape, your Gauteng. I think those have been known provinces as provinces, and then there's been KZN as well. KwaZulu-Natal, I think you've always been seeing KwaZulu-Natal also as a province. But yeah, all the others, there was just the regions in these provinces that were strong, that were visible. But now with the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championship, we'll see the power going back to the provinces. And an event here to replace the South African Junior Chess Championships, that is the SHACC. Honestly, in every which way, because obviously with the Grand Prix again, with the updates, in fact, let me just state this clearly. With the newly updated Circular 2 of the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championships, we're seeing obviously more information on the cost of attendance, more information on the cost of accommodation, more information on who gets selected, who qualifies to go into the junior closed, that is the South African Junior Closed Chess Championships, how many players from which sections get to qualify, and all other concerns and questions that you've heard may be answered, obviously addressed in this circular, and if not, then obviously they'll be addressed in the next circular. This is Circular 2, and so far I have not received any concerns, and that is why I'm just going to be presenting what I have been shown, what I've obviously has been answered through this second circular. But again, to emphasize the point of this, in my understanding, I keep on asking, why are we replacing the SHACC? But there's probably a question that you're also asking, because it was the SHACC, which was another pathway for players, junior players especially, to qualify for the South African Junior Closed Chess Championships, right? But it's not going to be happening. I believe that the SHACC is not going to be happening, because if the SHACC was going to be happening, advertisement for it was going to still to be out already. But it can't be happening for many reasons. Number one, obviously, it's because, in my understanding, the new executive feels that provinces and instead of regions, as previously with the SHACC, it was regions that were. That's just my thoughts. And the second, and obviously, yeah, because but this I don't see properly addressed, because again, I did mention that if that was the case, then we must be seeing a whole lot of advertised provincial selections, provincial chess championships scheduled in every province, where they're going to be selecting the players that are going to be representing the provinces in this way, in this event. But that's not happening. But the second reason, which is meant to be actually the first reason, which I believe is the reason why we're having the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championships, and it's because the SHACC still belongs to the Four Knights, I believe. Because I'm not sure, I don't think it was ever properly communicated to us whether the money is owed by Chess South Africa. Because remember, Chess South Africa was loaned money by the Four Knights to pay off a feeder debt. And as part of collateral, I think they signed off the rights to the SHACC to the Four Knights for 10 years or until the money is paid up. So we don't know whether the money is paid up yet, but we know that the 10 years is not already, it's not was it concluded yet? It's not up yet. The 10 years is not up yet. So that's another reason I believe that the SHACs cannot be held. So they had to come up with a way, be creative, and come up with an idea, a way of having selections and still make money. Because the SHACC, the reason why it was held as collateral is because that's an event that used to make a lot of money for Chess South Africa. And they believe that if they took the rights as 4 nights for it, they will be able to make their money back faster. And many people started to feel that the SHACC was becoming more and more expensive because it was run by the 4 nights, and obviously it was a way of making money back for them. And it was, I think it was costing to attend. It was above 4,000, 5,000 rands, depending on where you came from. But the individual fee for players, it was 800 rand plus, 850, I think, per player, just for registration. And then the very expensive virtual accommodation as well as part of it. It's just some other things. But again, this is just my thinking now. I'm saying that a lot of people were feeling that the SHACC was becoming too expensive. But now here is the MIYCC to replace it, the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championships, with a attendance cost of 750 rands, because it has, remember, it has team sections from under 8 male and female all the way up to 65 years up as a section. So it's under 8, under 10, under 12, under 14, under 16, under 18, under 20, and under 22. And then we've got an age group for 23 to 49 years, and another age group for 50 to 64 years, and 65 plus years. So that's like 11 sections that are going to be taking part in this actual extravaganza of chess, the actual chess festival that's going to be happening. So the cost for attendance then per player, per individual, obviously it's in groups. If you calculate it, it comes to about 650 rands per player for the juniors and 750 rands per player for the seniors, for the adults, which is still very expensive, especially for an event that we don't see the prize money for. Why do I need to? Because players are used to paying 200 rand, 300 rand at most, maybe per event. Maybe for the Mojo Extravaganza players, we were paying 700 rand for some of the sections. But those were the sections with the very high prize money. But for this event where the prize money is not advertised and you still have to pay for accommodation, and there's still, is it because it's not, who's going to be paying that? Like, who's going to be funding that? Like, are regions and provinces fundraising now for their players, or they expect that there's only the players that can afford that will be going there? Whew. Okay, see, I'm getting personal now, because now for instance, if you, I don't know, maybe for someone who's coming from somewhere around Ehlanzeni, it's going to cost about 2,000 rands or less transport to go and come back, to go to the event and come back. And it's going to be about 5 days of being there, right? And on average, I think per day it's going to be about 600 rand per day minimum, which includes obviously all the meals. So 600 times 5, how much is that? That's 1.2, 2. That's like 3,000 rands now, right? 3,000 rands for accommodation and catering, and there's 650 for playing. That's like 3.650 only for participation and accommodation. Now for transport, if you're from around Mpumalanga, then that costs you probably less than 2,000 rands. So with 5,000 rands, you'll be able to be secured. So, but still though, that is a lot. Unless now regions and provinces are asked to subsidize. Because again, 5,000 rands minimum just to go play a junior event. Hey, I don't know. It's those who are, it's doable. People have been playing the SHACC for many years and being in large numbers. But again, if we were feeling that the SHACC was only for those that can afford, and this is an event that, because remember when they were campaigning, these people, when they were trying to get into office, they were saying, I remember the words, especially of Carol Ifiri and the treasurer, where they're saying they're going to make this event more affordable. What are they doing to make these events more affordable? Oh, except for only charging 750 instead of the 850 from the from the SHACC. Was it high? Because still 750 rands or 650 rands, it's still a bit high though. But because remember, that's just the list of it. That's just that entry fee, because the costs mainly are in the accommodation and transport. What are they doing to subsidize that? Now let's imagine somebody coming from the Eastern Cape or from Cape Town. That's the Western Cape. How much is that? So we'll say the minimum 3.5 it's 3,650 for the accommodation and playing, right? And then there has to be an extra what now? 4,000 rands for what? For transport, or 3,000 rands for transport. So you're looking at 6,000, 7,000 rands. Please, obviously, comment with how much it will cost you for transport, plus to come to this venue, to come to this event in Limpopo and the Capricorn district to attend the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Youth Chess Championships, which obviously is very inclusive. It has adults as well. So the number of players per age group, it's going to be 10 players per age group, except for the girls, the female groups, which is going to be 6 per age group from under 8 all the way up to under 22. Also, the adult groups like your under 20, under 22, and the 23 to 24s, and 50 to 26, and 65, and the under 8s, there's only going to be 6 players per team with those players. And for the players that are playing, that are 6 in a team, the juniors, it's going to be 3,900 rands per team if there are 6 in a team, and it's going to be 6,500 rands per team if there are 10. And if you can't make up 10 players in the team and have 9, then you have to split that 650 across the 9 players who are available at present. That means it's no longer going to be 650 per player, but more. So if you want to keep it at 650, then you better have 10 players. And that's not only that. So yes, this is going to be a lot of players there. Then in this case, because there's 11 sections. Remember that, split into different age groups, and there is also wait, I'm trying to get to this part where we see how many sections, how many categories are there, how many divisions are there. Because obviously there's the championship section, which is also known as the Kings section, and there is what do they call the other section? Let me just quickly look at it. There we have it. It's obviously the championship section, which is the Kings section. There's the Queens section, which is the candidates section. That is the candidates to become the Kings. This is the Queens section. And there's the Rook section, which is also known as the Premier section. And there is the Bishop section, which is the 4th section, also known as the A section. And there is the B section, also known as the Knights section, and the C section, which is the Pawns section. Now, let's discuss qualifications, because remember that to qualify for the South African Junior Closed Chess Championships, you have to appear in the top 10 Grand Prix rating on ratings. Grand Prix ratings are, there's obviously the Grand Prix. It's divided into the highest rated players in that age group category and gender category, and the players with the highest points, Grand Prix points collected over the number of tournaments that they've played, that they've participated in. And I see there's players that have played over 100. And there's only a few players that have played over 100 tournaments in that period of from last year, September. Wow. But yeah, so that's where the Grand Prix points come from, right? So 10 obviously per age group, 10 for ratings, 10 for Grand Prix ratings. That means for the under 12 boys, for instance, there's already 20 that are selected. Now the other, which previously it used to be the other 10 was going to come from the SHACC, the South African Junior Chess Championships, but now it's not going to be just the other 10, because at first we were informed that it will be the top 10 players in the championship section that will make it to the junior closed event. But right now, it's been clarified. Obviously, it's been amended. Apparently, there's been a meeting on the 5th of October that was held by a council, Chess South Africa Council. It's interesting that sometimes they involve the Chess South Africa Council. And it's so amazing that it was very quick for the Chess Council to take a resolution on this issue of players, because it's concerning a whole lot of players, than it has for the dissolving of the Eastern Cape and appointment of the administrator and all the other matters relating to the Eastern Cape, because council hasn't met yet to discuss the suspension of the Eastern Cape president, to discuss any other matter that are also very crucial. But they've met on the 5th of October. I wonder if it was not on the agenda to discuss those matters as well. So in the 5th of October, Council has resolved that, yes, there's the following players that are going to be selected to go to the juniors. The top 10 finishes on the championship sections. That is from the under 8 all the way up to the under 20, because those are the players that are playing in the SA Junior Closed Chess Championships. The top 10 finishes in the championship section. the top 5 finishers in the candidates section, the top 5 finishers in the premier section, top 5 finishers in the A section, top 5 finishers in the B section, and top 5 finishers in the C section. Right? So that's like another 30 people, because it's going to be 10 players in the junior in the championship section, and then 5. That's another 20 players. So that means we're going to have another 30 players on top of the 20. Because previously in the closed chess championship, the junior closed would have only 30 players, I believe, invited. And then it will depend on how many of them make it, how many of them can afford it, because again, it's more money to be paid. It's crazy that you pay to qualify, and then once you've qualified to be invited to the close, you still have to pay again to play the qualifier. Like, it's like everything, pay. I'm hoping again that they're going to try and change that, because they've been preaching. Remember the changes that they've been preaching, these people. They've promised a lot. But anyways, so now there's going to be 50 players per section in the junior closed. You know why I say that? Because even if you've already qualified, so here's what's going to happen. If you've already qualified through the Grand Prix, and obviously through rating and Grand Prix points, they say the next qualified person will be invited here. So it says, here's the point. It says, in case a player who finishes within the top 10 in the championship section or the top 5 in the other sections has already qualified to be invited to the SHACCC 2025 through his or her rating or through Grand Prix, the next available player will be invited. So that means there's still definitely another 50 players per age group that are going to be invited to the Grand Prix. I mean, to the potentially, right? To the close. So that means if you're already qualified, they'll just move you aside and still look for the next 10 people. So if the top 10 finishers in the championship section, for example, have all qualified, maybe the first 5 through ratings because they're already strong, and the next 5 through their Grand Prix points, then that means they'll take another 20, the next 10, which means possibly the top 20 from the Grand Prix finishes will obviously get invited to to the junior close, because their main pool for this event, as was for the SHACC, is the fact that players are playing to qualify for the junior closed, which is a very important event in actually junior chess in the country, because that's where players get selected to represent the country in international events. We've got players that are meant to be going to be playing in their they call the cadets under 8, 10, and under 12, I believe, right? Which is going to be, where is it? I don't remember. I'll post it here. But yeah, I wonder again, who qualified for that? We must look at the last published list of winners in the closed. But yeah, so that's that part. I'm just gonna try and go through. We see now who's going to be qualifying. We see now the accommodations that are available, because there's 4 types of accommodation. There's a 4-star, there's 3-star, there's 0 stars, 1 star, 2 star, and there's family rooms and all things like that. That's just something you can look at and see for yourself. It's going to be interesting. But a very big concern, while I'm busy talking about this, I think I need to point out to the fact that there is still no selections. And this document still are not emphasizing. We see that they're saying everything will be done through the through the provinces. All communications will be through the provinces. They're not going to be communicating with individuals. They're not going to be communicating with clubs, regions, and so forth. It's only through through the provinces. But have the province announced now the first step for selections? Because they need to be controlling the regions now as the provinces, right? And say, regions, it's time now. By this date, by beginning of November, you should have selected your top teams, or you should have advertised your selection tournaments for all of these age groups. Have they done anything like that? Because again, the money collected for those selections might now be monies used to subsidize those that qualify going forward, so that they don't have to pay the 5,000 rands. What is happening in our regions and provinces? Shouldn't they have started already with that? Or is it some communications that went missing, went over our heads? I mean, like 20, 30 WhatsApp chess groups, and we haven't seen any region, any province advertising something like that, even on Facebook, any other platforms. What is happening? And is national only concerned with making sure that, like, again, if they want to make sure that people are sending, the regions are sending players, shouldn't they also be pushing to see this event happening? Or they just want to do it like the SHJC? No, but the SHJC was run better though. Like, because I remember these players were accumulating points in their own regions towards the close, right? And then from their close, they will select which players are going into represent the regions in the SHJC. And so far, I don't know, man. But I know some regions, we know some regions have active chess and they've got tournaments that they've had playing and they're going to be selecting through those tournaments. That makes sense for all those regions. They've got active players. But regions in Mpumalanga, what is happening? We know our leaders in Mpumalanga are sleeping. The next thing we'll see them, pod 1, Fumi Maluleka, pod 2, Lisampos, pod 3, Philip Pallad. They're going to be the team that's representing the Mpumalanga chess. Because I think some people are there just to have the chance to represent the province for themselves. Because if we were playing for those, they know they wouldn't be in anywhere in the list, but they are going to be there. But seriously, now on some serious note, like there are no tournaments, rated events taking place in Mpumalanga towards this, especially because the only so a lot of people are going to be left out, and that is concerning. And maybe it's not just Mpumalanga. So now I'm speaking about Mpumalanga because that's where I'm at. And I know the events that have been happening have been exclusive events which were not sanctioned by regions, like the private schools having their own chess tournaments. And if they dare try to use those ratings and those results from that to select, then we'll feel like they're excluding people. They're excluding other players who are unaware or who are uninvited. Because those invitations only go through certain people and through certain clubs as well. Some of us find out the day before that they are happening. So no, man, it's yeah. I think it should be the responsibility of the national structure again to push the provinces to start acting, because they were pushing them to get elected, and they run these elections. They push themselves to also get elected. What were they elected for? So you were interested in them getting elected. What's your name? What's this guy? Ngubane. Yes, in Mpumalanga. You were there, Ngubane, you were there, Nicole Peter, pushing and rushing to meet you, quoted to make sure that by this time there were elections. Now these people are elected and they're useless in office. Push them to be useful in office so that they start acting, they start being useful, so that we get to start seeing results. Because otherwise, this will be another issue. Because remember, there's the preliminary Grand Prix selections that were out, and I don't see Mpumalanga anywhere near there. It's fine. We only had a structure in June, from June 8. But after that, nothing is happening still. Still the same old people that were organizing tournaments are still the only people who are organizing tournaments. Still no event sanctioned or run by the regions or even the province have taken place. Still having boardroom fights. Or I don't know, whatever it is that they're having. But yeah, see, I've even wasted so much time. I don't think I've covered everything that needs to be covered with this document, but I've covered the important parts. We see now, there it is. That's the Mzansi Inter-Provincial Chess Championships. 10 players for some and 6 players for some. So yeah, and again, the pointing system, the calculations of points. I don't know why they are trying to confuse things by coming in with weighted scores. Because we believe that the combined, because apparently it's going to be an individual event, right? Where it's a team event with individual tie breaks. So that means it's, even if we come in as a team of 6, there's a chance that I might get to play against one of my opponents, one of my teammates in the event, right? So yeah, so that kind of means something. So maybe that's a reason why they're saying that they should consider the weighted the weighted scores of all the players who played for the team. So that means if you came out in first place at the end of the event and they're calculating the scores, they'll just count 20%, 20 points for that, instead of the normal. If one of us scored 7, the other one scored 8, the other one scored 2, and so forth, they just add up those numbers. They want to count weighted scores now, where each position in the standings up to position 15 earns extra points, which is interesting though. It kind of would make things exciting, but complicated. So that means we will not know for sure if we are number one until the results are released, or if we can unless we can take the time to calculate. But yes, if we're paying 750, I think that's a point that I want to emphasize. If we're paying 750 to participate in the tournament, now, for instance, if we as a team of 6 are paying 3,900 rand, we need to, especially for the adult section, maybe even the junior section, there needs to be prize money. So make efforts to either get sponsorship or definitely give back some of the money that you're going to be collecting. I know, because 750 per person, 750 to play, and still no prize money. Oh, come on, Chess South Africa. Come on. This is the chance to professionalize the sport. This is going to be a big event, and it needs to attract fans. If Moja Chess Extravaganza, a privately run event by a club, can attract so much sponsorship, what will stop you as a national federation from getting a lotto funding, SASCOC funding, or any other funding, private funding even, so that there's prizes? Because you want to see the top players, the professional players in the country participating in this event, don't you? So there it is. Your local organizing committee is chaired by Mr. Joe Mahomula. His contact numbers is there. And there is in the LOC, Mr. Vicky Magu, Chess South Africa Vice President, responsible for youth. And there is Tebucho Malachi, President of Chess Limpopo. And there's Carol Lefieri, Chess SA representative, is also the treasurer of Chess South Africa. Maybe he's there to account for the money, to check and make sure that, the money that they say they've collected is what they collected. So they can take their percentage to keep ours. And there is Mr. Simon Kekana, General Secretary of Chess Limpopo. There's Nicole Peter, Chess South Africa Expo member. That is the provincial representative, and maybe also acting general secretary. That is Bushile Dwaba, the treasurer for Chess Limpopo. Those are the members of the local organizing committee for the event, and all bookings of accommodation must be done only through them. So there's no direct booking of accommodation or such things. So that was the second seculum that came out on the 7th of October. The next one is going to be coming out on the 25th of October with more details. They will include provinces. They will be entering their teams by sections and categories. There will be preliminary, obviously, entrances showing or indicating which sections they wish to participate in. Not players' names. Just provinces should use the form that is attached below to attract, obviously, to register their teams. And the closing date to do this is 25 October. So that depends on the number of players a province has. Right. And they should make the payment of 30% deposit of the tournament fees, by the teams. So that's a start by 25 October. Let's see if we're seeing some activities in our regions, communications in our regions regarding this. But then again, just a side note, LOC, chairperson of LOC, Mr. Mahomula, your document has so many spelling errors. No proofreading, really. Come on. Is it done by one person and then sending it? Or you send it for proofreading to people and people don't read. They just say, it's fine, it's good, it's okay. Queries, the sections, the secessions. It's like a secession. But there's so many spelling errors, so many typos, so many such issues. You must proofread. Use your people in the LOC, man. Come on. Jeez. It mustn't be read, but they're finished by one person and then send it. Send it to the group and have them read through it. Give them a day, and then afterwards you correct. Man. But this is it. A very nice venue. Just for this time, I think I'm going to show this venue, and there's pictures that are appearing in this document so that people can see where they're going to be playing. So accommodation is going to be on first come, first serve basis. This is Chess 9. Good evening.